Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So, there was a recent announcement from Lionsgate and Blumhouse Pictures that they are going to reboot the Blair Witch Project. Now, the Blair Witch Project first came out in 1999 and was a high grossing horror picture, for sure. One of the first found footage films. Well, not technically the very first, for sure. There was another one prior to that, the last broadcast, and really, if you want to split hairs, there was also Cannibal Holocaust, which was a found footage film. But anyway, let's just say Blair Witch Project sort of popularized the found footage format. Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard, and Michael C. Williams used their real names for this picture, and everybody sort of believed this was the real deal, that it was almost like a snuff film. Of course it wasn't, but they used their actual names, the actors. So there were two sequels to the movie. One was Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2, which is not a good film at all. And then there was simply called Blair Witch, which came out in 2016, which was really just a repeat of the original film with maybe slightly better made, perhaps, but took away from what the original film, I think, was trying to do, which was to literally be a found footage film. This one, I think, I tried for it a little bit, but it just didn't work the same way. Although there are some good thrills in it. It's better than Book of Shadows, which at least tried to be different, but didn't work for me at all. And that was from director Joe Berlinger, who had done films like Brother's Keeper and Paradise Lost. So I expected it to be a lot better than it was. That's Book of Shadows. So anyway, Blumhouse wants to bring it all back, either trying to remake or get back to the original film. But it's not very clear what exactly they want to do. Whatever it is they're trying to do, they're bringing it back. And they supposedly would want to reinvent the idea of Blair Witch Project, perhaps. And they want to talk maybe, or at least it's been suggested that they talk to the original filmmakers, who have not really didn't participate in the two sequels since. So, but here's the thing: Joshua Leonard decided to go public with this. Now, he of course is one of the three hikers in the original Blair Witch Project, and his face was used on a press release for the film made by two major studios, who he both respects, but that's really all there is. There's no real indication of anything else other than the fact that he released a few facts about what happened with the original film. So here are a couple. The Blair Witch Project's original distributor in 1999 claimed to have released the most profitable independent film ever. Bought for $1 million, grossed $250 million. I actually thought it was 150, so I was off a bit. And while internally they told us that they were actually losing money from marketing expenses. So we might end up owing them money, the actors, that is. Another fact, they used their real names in the first film. The studio claimed copyright. We had to take them to federal court to win our names back. Now, Heather Donahue, by the way, is now known. She changed her name to Ray Hance, and she's no longer an actress. So that's kind of interesting. But anyway, another fact, the Hollywood Insider told the press that the actors were paid $4 million as a buyout for ownership points, while in reality they made $300,000 and never saw another dime. And other factors, timing, marketing, and so on, but they had no resources when they made this film. I mean, I think the budget was exceedingly low for Blair Witch Project. I'm thinking somewhere in the $20,000 to $25,000 range, but I think it was even less than that. They have not been, nobody from the original team that made the first film has been reached for any involvement in this. So it's not clear if they're doing a remake or a reboot, like I said. So I don't know. Blumhouse Productions, I don't really. Why don't you create original horror? There are some interesting YouTube videos, particularly short horror films, being made by independent filmmakers who have some really great ideas. I mean, I've seen a few. I'm still looking at some out of curiosity. They have some wonderful ideas. I mean, very imaginative ideas. Why doesn't Blumhouse work with them to develop a picture, you know. But horror, in and of itself, kind of sells itself. It really does. So they don't need to keep doing reboots and remakes. You know, you work with a low budget and you can still make pretty good money if the film is seen by people. And there are pictures like Late Night with the Devil or Barbarian from a couple of years ago. I mean, these are good movies. And look at the people on YouTube, please. Blumhouse, alert. There are people with imaginations. Use it. Don't buy an existing franchise and reboot it and remake it or do prequels or whatever the hell they do. You know, it's just getting a little tiresome right now. So I would say leave the Blair Witch Project alone. I think that film was an anomaly. It couldn't work today. People would not be in the least bit interested in seeing a new Blair Witch Project. I just don't really think so. But that's just my opinion based on the 2 sequels that did not do well with audiences at all. Never mind that they weren't really that good. The second one was a lot worse than the last one, but I can't imagine that there would be some real interest in this at all. So what do you guys think? Do you think they should reboot this, remake it? Do you like Blair Witch Project? Do you think the 2 sequels worked? I don't know. Interesting facts here about from Joshua Leonard, so I thought I would share them. You know, they didn't make much money from the original, but on the other hand, this is the story of Hollywood, as often happens, particularly with a low budget. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, hello anybody? We all know what happened there. Even the first Halloween, you know, so this would be a good way for them to actually, if they use their actual names for, you know, as a remake, it's the only way they might make some real decent money. Or they could just re-release Blair Witch Project. Just re-release the original film. So, anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. And I think that's all I got to say about that. This is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.